Keeping the water flowing. And that's why we call us Drop Nation. It don't mean it comes easy, my naga, but you know how to keep the water flowing. You know how to keep your feet moving. You know how to keep going. ShaBat ShaLaWam. All praise our Creator, Most High over everything, my naga. HaWah. Yeah, we got that water. Always come back to this 9-minute water of Hawaii, that Judah flow. It's that Utah flow. Let's go. I'm digging on Isaiah 29. And what's up with that Ruach Tardemah? What's up with that Tardemah, my naga? Y'all still got that Tardemah? You got to connect only to HaWah to shake that Ruach Tardemah. That spirit of deep sleep. HaWah. Isaiah 29. Verse 7. And the multitude of all the nations that war against Ariel, even all that war against her, and the bulwarks about her, and they that distress her, shall be as a dream, a vision of the night. And it shall be as when a hungry man dreams, and behold, he eats, but he awakes, and his soul is empty. Or as when a thirsty man dreams, and behold, he drinks, but he awakes, and behold, he is faint, and his soul has appetite. So shall the multitude of all the nations be that fight against Mount Zion, that go up against Israel, against HaWah, against David. Stupefy yourselves and be stupid. Bind yourselves and be blind. You that are drunken, but not with wine. That stagger, but not with strong drink. For HaWah has poured out upon you the spirit of the deep sleep, and has closed your eyes. The prophets in your heads, the seers he has covered. And the vision of all this is become unto you as the words of a writing that is sealed, man. It's been sealed, my naga, with a spirit of deep sleep, a Ruach Tardemah. You can't see it because it's still sealed from your eyes. There's things we're still catching up on that has been sealed from our eyes. We're still in a spirit of deep sleep. There's levels to waking up. It's kind of like the movie Inception. You wake up from one level, you still got to get that kick. You know what I'm saying? In this case, your kick is the code. Your kick is the code. Halal HaWah. Verse 10. HaWah has poured out upon you that spirit is stupid, that Tardemah, right? Deep sleep. And has closed your eyes. Now you over here trying to get the drop. And if you don't get it yet, you know, there's still this stupor on you, my naga. We got to shake that off. How we going to get that off you, though? How we going to get you to come off that spirit of Tardemah? Verse 11. And the vision of all this is becoming to you as the words of a writing that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray you. And he says, I can't, for it is sealed. Even the learned ones can't because it is sealed. But they're so learned, but they can't see. They know all these facts. They know all this information, but they can't see the dragonfly perspective. They can't see clearly. Verse 12, and the writing is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, read this, I pray you. And he says, I am not learned. And HaWah said, for as much as this people draw near, and with their mouth and with their lips to do honor me, but have removed their heart far from me. And the fear of me is a commandment of men learned by rote. Therefore, behold, I will again do marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder, and the wisdom of their wise men shall perish, and the prudence of their prudent men shall be hid. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from HaWah. Oh, you over here plotting and planning? You plotting and planning? Woe unto you that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Creator, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who sees us? Who knows us? O you perversity! Shall the potter be esteemed as clay, that the thing made shall say of him? Oh, we need that water. Drop Nation, we need that water. Oh, they got us going into the void. Oh, yeah, I guess that's a sign. We're going to keep the water flowing. Y'all got to let me know every 9 minutes. Drop. We need that water. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Creator, HaWah, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who sees us and who knows us? Nobody can see what we doing. Nobody knows what we up to, what we're thinking, what we're discussing, the false witnessing, the covetousness, the adultery. O you perversity! Shall the potter be esteemed as clay? The potter that is framing you, the potter that is shaping you, are you just going to esteem that as clay? That the thing made shall say of him that made it, he made me not? Or the thing framed, framer and shaper, my naga, or the thing framed shall say of him that framed it, or her that framed it, Ama, has no understanding. He has no understanding. She has no understanding. Can your mama have no understanding? Is it not yet a very little while, and Lebanon shall be turned into a fruitful field, and the fruitful field shall be esteemed as a forest? And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of a book, Halal HaWah, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness. So we're not just reading about a time of you going into a forever sleep. We're going to, some type of place that you can't be redeemed from. We're talking about a time that we know the Nog is going to wake up. The deaf is going to hear again, right? Verse 18, and in that day shall the deaf hear the words. My Nagas be like, man, my people can't hear me, man. My people can't hear me, man. And in that day shall the deaf hear the words of a book, and the eyes of the blind shall see out of obscurity and out of darkness, my Naga. Can you see clearly? What's the etymology of dragon, my nug. Etymology. Yeah, like Leviathan, right? Old twisting Leviathan, right? Unknown origin, they say. Is a what? We're talking a dragon. Dragoon. Giant sea fish, huh? Etymology from Durkestai, to see clearly, my nug. Light, clear, light, clear, light. The one with the deadly glance, the one with the glance that can see clearly. So we say we got a dragonfly perspective. We see clearly, my nut. Let's go. So in verse 18, the blind is going to be able to see again, right? To see out of obscurity, out of darkness. The humble also shall increase their joy in HaWah, and the neediest among them shall exalt in the Holy One of Israel, HaWah. For the terrible one is brought to nothing, and the scorner ceaseth, and all that watch for iniquity are cut off. That make a man an offender by words, and lay a snare for him that reproveth at the gate, in the gate. My naga, how many hijacks are out there trying to lay snares for a naga? Emotional snares, energetic snares, just hijack city, physical snares. I mean, it's always been that way for a naga, right? You can't even drive, to the corner store without, damn near a naga, somebody trying to lay a snare. You got police laying snares all day. You got police traps all day, man, right? The Johnnies is out all day, right? Trying to lay a snare for a naga. Shit, you got your own tribe sometime trying to lay a snare for a naga. But they that watch for iniquity are cut off. That make a man an offender by words. That means that you're bearing false witness. Cut off. Lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate. Turn aside the just with a thing of nothing. You're just turning aside real wave surfers with nothingness. You just got nothing. A whole bunch of nothingness, right? Oh man, therefore says HaWah, who redeemed Abraham, concerning the house of Jacob. Jacob shall not now be ashamed, neither shall his face wax pale, when he sees his children the work of my hands in the midst of him, that they sanctify my name. HaWah! Yea, they shall sanctify the Holy One of Jacob, and shall stand in awe of the power of Yahshua Israel. They also that err in spirit shall come to understanding. So we got a lot of nagas that are in error in their Ruach, but it's all good. Verse 24, you're going to even come to your own understanding. And they that murmur shall learn instruction. Oh, we got a lot of murmuring lips. We got a lot of murmuring lips around us in our communities. But even you shall learn instruction. We just talking about that Ruach Tardemah, reading Isaiah 29. They call it a spirit of deep sleep. Halal HaWah. I mean, HaWah is who got you in that spell. So the hijack wants to take credit for all this, but it wasn't the hijack that put you into a spirit of stupor. It wasn't the hijack, first of all, that broke your code. You broke it. You put a power before your power, my nigga. You were killing. You were stealing from each other. Israel on Israel war, going back and forth. Israel on Israel war. More on more war. Bodies were dropping. Land was being stolen. Powers were being called on. HaWah had to pour out the spirit of deep sleep, my nugget. You got to understand what deep sleep is, man. You know, don't try to go too fast. You just wakey, man. I mean, you know, it's our prophecy. We fulfilling it in real time. They watching us because we popping off out of that Ruach Tardemah. Let's go, because you know what? There's a few different, Ruachs out here, man, right? Let's dig on this. This is out the Orthodox Jewish Bible by Dr. Philip Goebel. I'm just going to kind of scroll through these, but, when it gets to this Ruach, look at all these different Ruachs, right? Hey, y'all got to tell me, man. Y'all got to say drop. We got to get that Voynich, though. We got to get that Voynich, though. But for now, we need that water flow. Love to the baby dragons on the wall. All right, so let's check out these Ruachs. All right, you got the Ruach Avikim or Awakim, spirit of your father. Okay, Ruach Ba'ir, spirit of burning. Ruach Elohim Kadashim or Elohim HaKodesh. All right, that's that Holy Spirit flow. That Ruach Gedolah is the great wind. The Ruach Ha'imis, spirit of truth. Hakadim, east wind. Hamakla, spirit of infirmity or illness. Hatameh, unclean spirit. Okay. Hatumah, also unclean spirit. Hatumah, all those are unclean spirit. Eviim, spirit of dizziness. Kina, spirit of jealousy. We got a lot of that Kina in our community, my nigga. Malay, strong wind. Mashkit, spirit of destruction. Mekai, spirit of life. Mekai, or Mekawah. They put two Y's, EH. Look like that HaWah right there, that life, right? Nediva, a willing spirit. Nakan, steadfast spirit. Nishbara, broken spirit. Raphaim, apparition. Sarah, stormy wind. Sarah, storm wind. Shakir, lying spirit. Man, we got a lot of this Shakir around here, man. Lying spirits. So'ah, spirit of the tempest, wind of the tempest. Then we get to the Ruach Tardemah, spirit of the deep sleep. Let's finish a couple more. We got the spirit of delusion, the Tatuyim. Then you got the Temaya, which is another unclean spirit. Then you got the Zak, a dry wind, Sarako, a Zaphon, north wind. Then you just got that Ruach, right? That's that breath. And that's when we connect that breath with Mama. The Christian connects the breath with Christ, right? They say Christ is the Holy Spirit. He's the Ruach. Man, you can't have no breath unless you have your Ha. And you can't have your Ha. You just can't have your Ha, Anagi, unless you first walk through the door to get to the Ha. The breath, to reveal breath, right? That's Mama. Inhale is feminine. Inhale, huh? Breath. I challenge you to breathe without inhaling. You have to inhale first. That's when Mama with her arms raised up. She's the breath. She's that Ruach. But first you need to walk through the door, right? You need to walk, gather with the Gam, But you don't know where to go unless you got the plan. You need that floor plan within your house, your family, right? What floor plan? Who's gonna be the power? What's the battery? What's gonna charge you up? Your strong power, your L or a left, right? So the strong power charges up your plan, your flow. You start to flow, right? In your family, your house, you walk through a door, an entrance, a portal, my naga. Your mama, your breath, your ruach is now charged up, and you have security. That's your shaper. That's the word. The vibration gives you security, my naga. It's a secure vibration, a secure foundation, a hook to be hooked in. Is masculine. You hook into the earth. The earth is feminine. The breath, the inhale, exhale. Very simple. Hawah. We don't have to do no studio tricks to teach you the name and the flow of Hawah back to the primitive root verb. Hawah. Primitive root verb. You can't hijack a primitive Hebrew root verb, which happens to be the fifth and the sixth letter of Picto-Palo-Hebrew. Now we got our Shabbat, right? Our cutoff day, the food, the nourishment, which is the Zion or the Zan, which is why you have this, you know, this axe like, cut off, this matox, this cut offness, you know what I'm saying? Because everything is being secured with your breath. What breath, my naga? I mean, by now, dragons on the wall, do you see clearly? Let's go. Because you got that ruach, right? You got that breath because you went through that door. Khan, let's go. Great link right here, Dodge the hijacks, I mean? It's from graceintorah.net. More Hebrew words for sleep. Sleep is a strange and wonderful thing. Sentient beings laying down, closing their eyes. Did y'all tell me, Drop? We need some more of that water. All right, finally, man. It's all right, man. We popping off. ShaBat ShaLaWam. We got that water. Alkaline. We got that water. All right, so let's look at this sleep situation in Hebrew. So far, we've looked into two words for sleep, Yashin and Shana. Now we will examine the first mention of sleep in the Bible. It is found in Genesis 2. So the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon the man, and he slept, Yashin. Then he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh at that place. The Hebrew word translated as deep sleep is Tardemah. All right. So we got a Ruach Tardemah, or deep sleep. This word is only found in 7 places in the Bible. The context of the first mention above makes it clear that this is no ordinary sleep or rest. In fact, Hawah is the cause of this trance-like state. Its second use is equally compelling. Genesis 15:12. Now when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram, and behold, terror and great darkness fell upon him. Both Adam and Abram are a type of Messiah. Adam's Tardemah results in him receiving a bride. Abram's Tardemah results in him receiving a nation. So Managa, what is your Tardemah going to pop off into? Because Hawah's not just, giving you this timeout Tardemah for no reason. You don't make your children take a nap for no reason, so that they can be stronger, right? You don't punish your child for no reason, and so that they can learn, so that they can be stronger, Khan. So what's it going to be for you? You going to wake up out your deep sleep as a hater, hating on people, coveting their stuff, coveting their flow, plotting against them? Or you're going to wake up, you're going to pop off, you're going to keep the code, you're going to big up your brother, your Aqua, that's in code. You're going to be a wall of protection. You're going to keep your ShaBat. You're going to rest, get your own deep sleep. Mystically speaking, Adam and Abraham died, right? Mystically speaking, the children of Israel died, went into a slumber to receive the covenant of marriage, his house, descendants, and a land. In fact, terror and great darkness was felt by Abraham. Did Messiah suffer anything like this? What Messiah? Huh? They trying to get to JC? Nah. What about the Prester, though? What about you, my Naga? Since Israel's the firstborn. Let's pick it up from here, man. The other instances of Tardemah demonstrate that HaWah uses this type of deep sleep in other ways as well. 1 Samuel 26:12. So David took the spear and the jug of water from beside Saul's hand, and they went away, but no one saw or knew it, nor did any awake, for they were all asleep. Yashin. Because a sound sleep from HaWah had fallen on them. So this was a special sleep, right? Job 4, verse 12. Now a word was brought to me stealthily, and my ear received a whisper of it. Amid disquieting thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, dread came upon me in trembling and made all my bones shake. Job 33:15. In a dream, a vision of the night, when sound sleep falls on men, that Tardemah, while they slumber in their beds, then he opens the ears of men and seals their instruction. So while you're in a deep sleep is when you can get the best instruction, which is why you got to rest. But if you got to work 6 days out the week, you might not be getting a sound sleep. So HaWah gives you a ShaBat so you can rest, man. So you can charge up, get into a sound sleep, that he may turn aside from his conduct and keep man from pride. He keeps back his soul from the pit and his life from passing over into Sheol. So that deep sleep, you are getting instruction on what? To keep the code, to not turn aside, or to turn aside from your conduct if you're outside the code. You need that instruction. You need that sound sleep, that Tardemah. This is why we just popping off, because we got instruction in our deep sleep. Proverbs 19:15. Lego. Laziness casts into a deep sleep, and an idle man will suffer hunger. He who keeps the commandment, keeps the code, keeps his soul. Keep the code, keep your soul. But he who is careless of conduct will die. Let's go. Isaiah 29, we just got this, right? Verse 10, HaWah has poured over you a spirit of deep sleep. HaWah, he has shut your eyes, the prophets, and he has covered your heads, the seers. A deep or sound sleep can result in a divine message from the Creator. We want that instruction time, that breath of security, that Ruach. But it can also prevent one from waking or experiencing what is happening in the conscious human world. It also seems that one can fall into this type of sleep in a figurative way by being lazy, idle, or because of rebellion. So it's two sides of it, but it's all for the same purpose. Because if you fall into that, you know what I'm saying, the only reason why HaWah is, allowing you to go that deep into it is so that you can find a jewel, find something that you needed, so that you don't have to repeat that process over and over again. HaWah's gonna let you go into that slumber, because in that, you'll find what you need, man. Just like with your child, sometimes you gotta let them, walk their path, because that's the only way they're gonna learn. But in order to learn, they gotta get something important from the lesson. They have to get instruction, Khan, and seals their instruction. He opens the ears of men and seals their instruction. During that sound sleep. We're just talking about the Tardemah, my naga. But let's go. Hey, let's jump into the hijack right quick, because even Paul, Paul, Paul. You know him as Paul, right? Love the Aqua Top battle. Marco Polo, Paulie here has something to say about deep sleep too. Verse 8 in Romans 11. Remani 11, huh? It says God gave them a Ruach Tardemah, spirit of deep sleep, right? So, bang, bang. Oh, y'all didn't tell me, man. Come on, man. We're going to get on that Voynich, though. I think we just need a reminder every 9 minutes to recon the Voynich manuscript, man. Who is Prester John, man? All right, so let's check this out, though. So we just got it out the Orthodox. Same thing, right? It took us to Isaiah 29 again, saying that you're in the spirit of deep sleep, eyes that they should not see and ears they should not hear until this very day. Got it. Now, I wanna get into context, for the dismount, because we are in the New Test and they do be lying over here. They give you some drop, but let's catch them slipping like we always do, to let you know that there's a different energy here, right? When you're dealing with the framer shaper, there's a different energy going on over here, Khan. You got that water? You got that quiche water, that Maya root water? Because quiche means the root, my man. So you got to take it to the root, to the indigenous writings, to the flow, so that there's a different energy over here when we digging on Marco Polo, Paul's writings, right? What did that Dominico cat say again, man? They call him Domenico de Vicio. Who's been surfing the wave? If you've been surfing the wave, you already know what we're talking about. That framer shaper, right? Let's get it bigger for the homie in the back of the class, man. It's the fine print, so we gotta get it bigger. The framer shaper. Let's pick it up from here. The framer and the shaper are the most frequently mentioned gods involved in the creation of the world and its inhabitants. So this ain't no new. This ain't no new water flowing. The framer and shaper, the Ha and the Wah, right? We got it here. The HaWah, right? The HaWah. The HaWah, the primitive Hebrew root verb. The HaWah. What they call Hey, right? And they try to put the HAW here. HaWah. So they say to fall out, to come to pass, to become. To become, been, done, befall. So you're reading about a Tardemah when you fell into a deep sleep. Let's hit up the coordinates on the H1961. So you see all these occurrences of the establishment. When something is established, when you say the or that and all this, you know what I'm saying? All this is to anything to be, to become, anything that is the existence. Everything that is the is I am, is HaWah. I'm just checking out these different concordances here. To be, become, come to pass, to exist, right? So this again is why in etymology, when they flipped it to the Yahweh, and this is a recent flip, which they say is all about the Yud, but Managa, if their Yah is Yad, and Yad means hand or work, then how can you take that work into your ShaBat, Managa? I mean, Yad, hand, work, right? And you need to get into this cutoff time, right? Where you have a nourishment, where you have a ShaBat with no work, but your Yah is all about the work, the work going into the worship and all this throwing and all this action, right? Instead of just focusing on the secure breath or the existence or the HaWah, not the work of the Yad. Does the Yad go back to the primitive root as the existent? You're talking about to I am, right? I am that I am. Wow. That Exodus flow, Moses said, I am, right? H1961, that I am, H1961. So HaWah, HaWah. And then he said, thou shalt say to the children, I am has sent me to you. So tell them I am. He didn't say tell them I am, I am. Just tell them I am. What is I am? H1961. Back to the primitive root. But they say, hey, y'all, but then they put the W here. And what you have to learn as you continue, where they came from their Yahweh, but you go backwards with the Yahweh, you get hey Yah, right? Go backwards, reverse the curse, you get hey Yah. But what happens with this hey Yah? The imperfective of the Hebrew word HaWah. So it's imperfective of the perfective, right? It's the imperfective of the perfect verb HaWah, which is the earlier form of heya. So before they gave us the hey ya, there's an earlier form, which is why they put the W here. But we're just talking about something that exists, Khan. Right. HaWah, which is the one who is existing. Khan, which is what you're getting when you walk through the door, my nugget. I mean, let's get some more water. I got him right on point that time. Let's go, man, for the dismount. Because you just got that. You got that water when you went through that door, right? You gathered with strong power. The family gathered through the entrance. You got your hey, wah, right? Your ha, wah. Earlier form of hey, yeah, right? The one who is existing. So you got existence in what form, my nugget? In the breath. Inhale. Exhale. Wah. That's your security. Secure breath is your existence. You put those together, you have the what? Framer and the shaper. Back to the, Maya Kishe Papuva. Framer refers to one who makes something by putting things together, a building from stone or adobe, a meal from various ingredients, or a woven cloth from individual threads. Shaper refers to one who makes something by modeling or molding, right? The potter's hand, right? Pottery from clay. That's your father, mother, father. Christianity calls framer wisdom. But wisdom says she has her ways, which are the code. I'm talking Proverbs chapter 8. I'm talking Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2. Let's go. Mama talks for herself, right? So, mama, framer, shaper. Solomon's praying for his framer, right? Wisdom, because he needs to put things together to fortify his kingdom. You need your framer to make a meal from all the ingredients to put the kingdom together, right? Now, the framer and the shaper are the most frequently mentioned power involved in the creation of the world. So it's the most frequently mentioned power. It's nothing new. It's OG. Matter of fact, it's so OG. What's this Friar Domenico going to say? What's Domenico going to say? Their names imply that the creation involved giving frame and shape to matter that already existed rather than conjuring something out of nothing. This pair of powers are so important that soon after the Spanish conquest, Father Domenico de Vico used their quiche names, their root names, to refer to the God or the power of the Old Testament. Tanakh, my nigga. That's from Carmack and Mondlock, 1983. So when we get to Romans, and I tell you that that's a different power, they're pushing you into a different mentality because it's a different so-called God, my nigga. But we're not talking about Hawa in the New Testament, right? Because they flipped it and went in reverse. We're talking Yahweh, right? Reverse the curse. And the Yah ain't no Yud, because the Yud, my noggin, does have to do with work, my noggin. And how much work can you carry into your Shabbat? Or do you have to wait until after your cutoffness in order to, start that work, right? But first, in order to get that food, you needed your breath of security or your fifth and the sixth letter, the pictopaleo. So you can't go against it. You have to accept your pictopaleo, your fifth and sixth letter. Hawa is always going to be here because it's always been here as the earlier form, as a primitive root, manag. A primitive root, manag. Oh, yeah. As the fifth and the sixth letter. Let's go. So let's see how they're flipping it, since this is not the power of the Old Testament, right? And if this Spanish father, right, this priest, if he's saying that there's a different God of the old and the new, that should ring a bell for me and you. What power did Columbus and them bring? What power is this Yahweh Yeshua that has nothing to do with Hosea 3 and 5, Ezekiel 37, Ezekiel 34, Jeremiah 23, Jeremiah 30, has nothing to do with none of David rising again. Now we got a son, right? But even in Egyptology, right, the sun would be now this Horus or Ra. But Managa, the greater light, already existed before the sun was created. And didn't Joshua, the real Joshua, make the sun stand still? So Joshua commands this sun, which means he would command the Horus or the Ra. Because he commands, you know what I'm saying, all that is within the greater light, Managa. That HaWah has given Joshua the power to do so. He made the moon stand still, the sun stand still, but your sun is only a reflection of the Amun-Ra sun, Managi, of the sun's sun. But the sun was created on the fourth day, and Joshua made the sun stand still by command, Managi. So who got the drop? The sun or the real Joshua that commands the sun? I'll wait. You got that water? God of the Old Testament means God of the Old Testament. Means HaWah is not the power of the New Testament. HaWah, framer, shaper, right? Framer, shaper, framer, shaper, breath, secure. After you get through that door, you get your zan, your food. Framer, shaper. The earlier form, right? HaWah. It's in your pictopaleo. You can't go against it. Now when we're just talking existence as a primitive root. It's right there. Exodus 3, right? I am that I am. Exist. I am. I exist. He didn't say I work. Worship. All this Yud, Yah stuff, right? Because their Yah ain't your Yah. They just lied to you and said that the Yah is the same as the Yud. They created their own Yah. You gotta factor this in, that they created their own Yah. Could they do this to HaWah? Could they do this to the Creator's name? No, they had to reverse it to Yahweh. They created their own exclamation of defiance or dismissal, man, in 1812. They couldn't do this to HaWah. They had to do this to Yah. They had to flip it and then, make their defiance. And when they put the way or the wah afterwards, then they're defiant towards the way, or they're defiant towards the wah. What the wah is your added security. They're defiant towards the Father, Managa. That's the Yahweh. It's not the Yad. Two different things, man. Moshe didn't say, I am that I am, work, throw, worship. The Creator's name is not worship. You see the sound right here? E. We're talking primitive root. So they created their own Yah. Oh. And we on that HaWah, man. We about to be on that Voynich manuscript. Let's take one more bath, man. I think we're going to come in hot next time with some Voynich. I promise you, man. I think that's a sign. Let's get this water flowing one more time. And what they do in Romans 11, man. Because this ain't the power of the Old Testament, right? What then? Verse 7. Was Israel seeking? What then? What was Israel? What Israel was seeking? It failed to obtain, but the elect did. Hold up. For the dismount says, what then? What Israel was seeking, it failed to obtain, but the elect did. So Israel's out, but the elect, which are the Gentile, right? They're in. The others were hardened, right? So now they're going to use these Old Testament scriptures, right? But it's a different God of the Old Testament. Remember, this pair of powers was so important, framer and shaper, that after the Spanish conquest, Father Domenico de Vico used their Quiche root name to refer to the power of the Old Testament. Jack, let's go. So what then? What Israel was seeking, it failed to obtain, but the elect did. The others were hardened, as it is written. God gave them a spirit of stupor, eyes that could not see and ears that could not hear to this very day. So are they bearing false witness, or are they saying the truth? You know, when you click on their little footnotes, you know, they tell you what they used to come to this conclusion, right? They say, see Deuteronomy 29:4 and Isaiah 29:10. So Isaiah 29:10 is what we started with. That's what we started with. For HaWah has poured out upon you a spirit of deep sleep, Ruach Tardemah, and has closed your eyes, right? Okay. Now what's this Deuteronomy about? Deuteronomy 29:4. Yet to this day, HaWah has not given you a mind to understand, eyes to see, or ears to hear. So this is after Moshe. It says these are the words of the covenant that HaWah commanded Moshe to make with the Israelites in the land of Moab. In addition to the covenant he made with them at Horeb, Moshe summoned all Israel and proclaimed to them, you have seen with your own eyes everything HaWah did in Egypt to Pharaoh, to his officials, to all his land. You saw with your own eyes the great trials, those miraculous signs and wonders. Yet to this day HaWah has not given you a mind to understand, eyes to see, or ears to hear. So this is what Paulie in Romans is using to discount Israel, you know, and tag in the Gentile, right? Now I just want to, you know, obviously we know that HaWah has given us a spirit of stupor, but does that mean to this very day that the tribe ain't waking back up, and therefore the elect, you know, are going to be given some type of grace and blessing, right? In the same way, at the present time, there is a remnant chose by grace. Grace, my nigga. That's just, yeah, you know, the Christian loves that. Israel, move over. You want us, right? But what do you mean? You don't even keep the code. You got a different power, right? There's a different God, God of the Old Testament, says Father Domenico. Father Domenico says there's a different power over here. So let's not fall into the trap. So they're telling us a little bit of truth with a whole lot of lie. They're saying, yeah, that HaWah gave us a spirit of stupor, but they're not saying that we're being redeemed. You see, it's only a half truth. And not talking about our redemption allows them to feel like they're the elect and they're going to get our Baruch blessing at the end of days. Now they want to bring in David. Let's go. Now they say, oh, well, David is also saying, so they're going to use King David's words to rule out Israel and make the Gentile the elect, right? May their table become a snare and a trap, a stumbling block, a retribution to them. May their eyes be darkened so they cannot see and their backs be bent for it. Oh, man, that sounds bad. That sounds bad, David. Out of context, that sounds bad. But what's David talking about? Let's get it, man. First Kings, man. And this is crazy because, well, matter of fact, I'm going to pick it up from this Psalm 69. Let's get it from here. Then we'll go to First Kings for the dismount. Let's pick it up in verse 19, Psalm 69. You may know my reproach, my shame and disgrace, and my adversaries are before you. Insults have broken my heart, and I am in despair. I looked for sympathy, but there was none, for comforters, but I found no one. I mean, David's over here jammed up. He's not saying, Israel, you're cursed. Israel, you're cursed. He's saying, man, rescue me, man. Go back to verse 1. Save me, O HaWah, for the waters are up to my neck bone. And my neck, I have sunken into the merry depths where there is no footing. Let's get some more water. Y'all told me that. I appreciate you. Let's go for the dismount. Let's go. I have drifted into deep water where the flood engulfs me. I am weary from my crying. My throat is parched. My eyes fall. My eyes fail, looking for my HaWah. Those who hate me without cause outnumber the hairs on my head. Man, it ain't easy to be in David's shoes. You shouldn't throw stones at David, you see. Those who hate me without cause, just because, outnumber the hairs on my head. Many are those who would destroy me, my enemies, for no reason. So he's talking to, he's talking about his enemies, man. He's not talking about Israel per se. He's just talking about those that are going against him, those who hate him. Though I did not steal, I must repay. You know my folly, O HaWah, and my guilt is not hidden from you. May those who hope in you not be ashamed through me, O HaWah of hosts. May those who seek you not be discouraged or dishonored through me, O HaWah of Israel, for I have endured scorn for your sake, and shame has covered my face. I have become a stranger to my brothers and a foreigner to my mother's sons, because zeal for your house has consumed me, and the insults of those who insult you have befallen on me. I wept and fasted, but it brought me reproach. I made sackcloth my clothing, and I was sport to them. Why? Those who sit at the gate mock me, and I am the song of drunkards. But my prayer to you, O HaWah, is for a time of favor. In your abundant loving devotion, O HaWah, answer me with your sure salvation. What? Your sure salvation, my noggin, is your breath of security. Your security is your surety. Your secure breath, your reveal, your revelation. But not in no New Testament, because that's a different God. God of the Old Testament is not the same, right? According to Domenico. Nah, Father Domenico de Visio used their root names to refer to the God of the Old Testament. Why didn't he do it for the whole book, right? Because it's a different power. What they call old is not old. They just pushed your timeline back, Jack. Rescue me from the mirror and do not let me sink. Deliver me from my foes and out of the deep waters. That's what we all saying, right? Do not let the floods engulf me or the depths swallow me up. Let not the pit close its mouth over me. Answer me, HaWah, for your loving devotion is good. Turn to me in keeping with your great compassion. Hide not your face from your servant, for I am in distress. Answer me quickly. Draw near to my soul. Redeem me. Ransom me because of my foes. You may know my reproach, my shame, and disgrace. All my adversaries are before you. Insults have broken my heart. You throwing stones at David? Insults have broken my heart. And I'm in despair. I looked for sympathy, but there was none, for comforters, but I found no one. They poisoned my food with gall and gave me vinegar to quench my thirst. So this is who he's talking to. Whoever poisoned his food, my noggin, and gave him vinegar to quench his thirst. The haters, he said, may their table become a snare. May it be a retribution as a trap. May their eyes be darkened so they cannot see, and their backs be bent forever. My noggin. And this is what Paulie's over here saying in Romans 11. To do what? What's the intention? In the same way, at the present time, there's a remnant chosen by grace. And if it is by grace, then it's no longer by works. Oh, that's the Christian eyes. The works are dead. The law is dead. Because now we got grace. We don't need no work. You can kill, you can steal, you can put a power for your power. The law is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. That's what they doing, right? Because they got grace. Or do you have a grace period of time to get back in code? Back to the work of doing no work on the Shabbat. He's not saying we keep the Shabbat. He's saying, oh, well, they couldn't get it done. Even David said, may their table become a snare and a trap, a stumbling block, a retribution, and may their eyes be dark and they cannot see, their backs be bent forever. That's what David said to Israel. Did David say that to Israel? Or is David talking to the ones who was poisoning his food with gall and giving him vinegar to quench his thirst? You see what I'm saying? Paulie boy, Marco Polo over here is bearing false witness on King David, using what he's saying against him to do what? To make this grace pop off? For the who? The elect? Who's that? It can't be Israel, because what Israel was seeking, it failed. And they're going to use David's testimony, just like some bullshit prosecutor, use David's testimony against the entire tribe to bear false witness on the entire tribe of Israel. My noggin, I can't make this stuff up. They even said to go check out Deuteronomy 29:4, right? This is what they're using to back up these quotes right here, right? You see that little letter D, CD? Well, all right. We go to D, right? And then you got E. So what's E? Let's go. Psalm 69. So that was supposed to be the David part. That's what we just got. And David's talking about whoever's poisoning him, right? Not the whole tribe of Israel with their eyes being darkened. No, he's talking about whoever poisoned his food, Managi. Whoever is hating on him. He's talking to the haters, man, not the whole tribe of Israel. Marco Polo, you are bearing false witness. Let's check out this Deuteronomy 29:4. And Moses is over here talking to the tribe, right? After they're over there murmuring, they forgot what HaWah did in Egypt. Yet to this day, HaWah is not giving you a mind to understand why. Because they forgot what HaWah did in Egypt. This is not talking about the whole tribe as a whole. He's talking specifically to those that's not even paying no heed to the fact that they saw with their own eyes the great trials and those miraculous signs. One more time for the dismount, man. We popping off. So they saw these miraculous signs with their own eyes. And yet they forgot. You have seen everything HaWah did in Egypt, man. You saw with your own eyes, yet this day, HaWah is not giving you the mind to understand, eyes to see, and ears to hear. You know what happens next, man. That first generation didn't make it, right? Too stubborn, right? But this is what you're going to use to back up Marco Polo? You're going to use that to back what up? All right, that connects to this D right here. God gave them a spirit of stupid so they couldn't see. So now he's using Moshe, who's specifically talking to a tribe of rebellious, you know what I'm saying, rebellious Nagas that ain't paying HaWah no heed, that they've been given the spirit of stupid. Now we know it's all the way to this day, but that don't mean that we're not bouncing back and that suddenly there's a grace for the Gentile elect, right? The grafting of the Gentiles. That's what it's all about. That's the intention, Khan. And even he says in the next chapter, you know what I mean? Hey, man, you can't boast yourself over the natural branches. I'm from Benjamin, yada, yada, yada. Are you Marco Polo? Are you a Benjamite? I don't know, right? They even refer to First Kings, man. They even refer to First Kings, man, for the dismount. First Kings, chapter 19. ShaBat ShaLaWam, my niggas. We popping off. Verse 10, and he said, I have been very jealous for the HaWah of hosts. For the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altars, and slain your prophets with the sword. So this is a specific recourse to blatant, abominable behavior, my nigga, right? So, slain your prophets with the sword, and even I am left, and they seek my life to take it away. And just so you clear, and Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, and withal how he had slain all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent a messenger unto Elijah. Talking Johnny the Baptist, man. So let the gods do to me, and more also, if I make not thy life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and went for his life, came to Beersheba, which belonged to Judah, and left his servant there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat under a broom tree. And he requested for himself that he might die, and said, it is enough now, O HaWah, take away my life, for I am not better than my fathers. And he lay down and slept under the broom tree, Tardemah. And behold, an angel touched him, a dragon touched him, and he said, arise and eat. And he looked, and behold, there was at his head a cake baked on the hot stones, and a cruse of water. And he did eat and drink, and lay him down again. And the dragon of HaWah came again the second time, and touched him, and said, arise and eat, because the journey is too great for you. And he arose, and he did eat and drink, and went in strength of that meal 40 days, 40 nights, unto Horeb, the mount of HaWah. 40 days in the wilderness, right? 40-day journey. Let's go. Verse 9, and he came thither unto a cave and lodged there. And behold, the word of HaWah came to him and said unto him, Who dost thou hear? What doest thou here, Elijah? And Elijah said, and he said, I have been very jealous for the Creator, the power of hosts, for the children of Israel have forsaken thy covenant, throw down thy altars, and slain thy prophets with the sword, and even I am left. So this is Elijah speaking, Shalak. So HaWah asked him, what you doing here, Elijah? And Elijah's like, look, man, I'm jealous for you, man. They're forsaking every part of the code. I'm the only one left. They seek my life. And HaWah told him, go forth, stand upon the mount before HaWah, and behold, HaWah passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains and broke in pieces the rocks before HaWah. But HaWah was not in the wind. And after the wind, an earthquake. But HaWah was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake, a fire. But HaWah was not in the fire. And after the fire, a still small voice. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle and went out and stood in the entrance of the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him and said, What are you doing here, Elijah? And he said, I have been very jealous for HaWah, the power of all the hosts, all the dragons. For the children of Israel have forsaken your covenant, thrown down your altar, slain your prophets with the sword, and I'm the only one left. They seek my life to take it away. And HaWah said unto him, Go, return on your way to the wilderness of Damascus, and when you come, thou shalt anoint Hazael to be king over Aram, and Jehu the son of Nimshi shall be anointed to be king over Israel, and Elisha the son of Shaphat and Abel Mehalah shall be anointed to be prophet in your room. And it shall come to pass that him that escapes from the sword of Hazael shall Jehu slay, and him that escapes from the sword of Jehu shall Elisha slay. Yet will I leave 7,000 in Israel, and all the knees which have not bowed unto Baal, and every mouth which has not kissed him, my naga. We're talking about the hijack free nagas. So this is popping off for Elijah. Or in the New Test, old JC says that's John the Baptist, right? Did he give some drop? So they're going to use Elijah's words. They're going to use Moses' words. Oh, Marco Polo is even going to use David's words from those, towards those who's poisoning him, hating on him, giving him vinegar to drink. And this is what Marco Polo is going to use as his evidence to graft in the Gentile. Oh, the spirit of stupor, all this, look at what they're using, right? This, all the Elijah flow, the Moses flow, the David flow, all for what? To get you to serve another power. Because the power, the God of the old, is not the same. And even Father Domenico, even Father Domenico knew that, my naga. Hey, Halal HaWah, my naga. We surfing the wave, man. We dodging all that Ruach Tardemah, man. We coming back. We popping off, man. We breaking the spell, man. Feels good to come home. HaWah gave them a spirit, a Ruach Tardemah, spirit of deep sleep, eyes that they should not see, ears they should not hear, until this very day. Seek HaWah only. Hey, man, and we will be back on this voided code. I mean, it's popped up 9 times, I believe. So, I guess that's a sign to get on that voided manuscript. But you can get it out that drop library. Password is still 1234 to get through the door, my noggin. Other than that, man, just keep the water flowing, man. Just keep the water flowing, man. HaWah. Hey, we did it again, my Nagas. We did it again, my Nagoose, my kings, my queens out there. We did it again, man. We hit another checkpoint. ShaBat ShaLaWam, keep hitting this mark. Get your rest, get your zanzan, your food, your nourishment, and wakey. Connect only to HaWah to shake off that Tardemah. Connect directly with HaWah to shake off that Ruach Tardemah. Wake up out that deep sleep, that deep slumber. Break the spell by keeping the code. Connect directly with HaWah to wakey from that Ruach Tardemah. Halal HaWah.